Tonight on Reporting Scotland, a Scottish Government plans to tackle staff shortages in the NHS are further delayed. We have a special report from the Highlands. Good evening. Scottish Government plans to tackle NHS staff shortages have been delayed again. A full workforce plan for health and social care was promised by the end of last year. The Health Secretary had admitted it would be delayed until January, but as yet no date has been set for its publication. As health boards struggle to recruit and retain key staff, Lisa Summers has travelled to Wick to find out how they are overcoming long-standing problems.
The hairpin bends of the Berriedale Braes, a notorious stretch of the 100-mile road that connects the northeast corner of Scotland to Inverness. Doesn't matter what time of year, the Inverness road can be a pretty miserable drive. But over the years, more and more people have had to do it, not just when they're really sick and need to see a specialist, but also for routine appointments. Now more doctors are making the journey.
I've just come to have a wee chat about your scan.
Dr Franklin is part of a team of rotational consultants. Based in Raigmore in Inverness, they spend a quarter of their time here at Caithness General in Wick.
We realised there was, yes, a crisis of staffing here, and we volunteered to help initially just on an ad hoc basis. But this model has meant that we could actually employ more staff who are based in Raigmore but work here as well. And we hope that's a much more sustainable model than trying to attract people to only work in Caithness.
Thank you. Dr Van Wyk has travelled even further. Based in London, he does shifts with the team here. Employing locums like him is expensive, but the hospitals say the cost of temporary staff is going down. Dr Van Wyk says he's considering moving to Caithness.
Here we see everything, so everything that comes to the front door we look after. In a big hospital I wouldn't see heart attacks, I wouldn't see strokes, because they would go straight off to special units, whereas here we can do it all in one place.
There are more doctors here now and more being recruited. But it's only been 2 years since Caithness General was placed on special measures. Local people took to the streets angry at changes to services. It all forced NHS Highland to rethink its model of rural care.
We are in a far better place than we were before. Hopefully we'll get they're talking about £30 million investment in the area with the new health services and everything. We still have some concerns about the number of patients that have to travel down to Inverness. I think there's somewhere around about in excess of 12,000 a year. That needs to be improved.
There are still some burning issues. Meet Zach, Nancy, Emmy and 5-month-old Owen. They are Wick's newest residents, but they were all born over 100 miles away in Inverness, as are most babies now. The local maternity unit was downgraded 2 years ago. The Health Board insists it's the only safe option, but women in labour can face a long journey to give birth.
It's horrendous, it's so uncomfortable. Being heavily pregnant and trying to sit in a car for 2.5 hours, it's no fun.
Being heavily pregnant, it's just worrying as well. You know, are you going to get down okay?
It's infuriating to see that they've got the facilities, they've got the midwives there, and as I said, you know, my first 2 deliveries, both sections, and the care was there.
The government says it started on the road to transform healthcare services in Scotland. There is progress being made here in Caithness, but it's a journey far from complete. Lisa Summers, Reporting Scotland, Wick.
And tomorrow, Lisa looks at why GP shortages have become a major issue in rural areas. Well, meanwhile, the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has begun a week-long tour of the United States and Canada. In a speech at Georgetown University, she argued that the UK is not prepared for Brexit. Ms Sturgeon also renewed calls for another referendum on UK membership and has warned against a no-deal departure from the European Union.
There is a real and growing risk that the UK will leave the EU in 53 days' time without any deal in place, and that would be hugely damaging, far more so, dare I say it, than the government shutdown that you've just had here in the United States. In fact, some of the contingencies being considered if we leave the EU without a deal are genuinely astonishing. Retailers and farmers have warned of price rises and shortages of key foods. Motorways and airfields in the south of England are being considered for use as lorry parks. UK government ministers, quite seriously, are claiming to be buying fridges in order to stockpile essential medicines.